ברוך אתה ה' אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. My basic source of inspiration and study is always the Bible, the Torah in particular, of course. We read the Torah every Sabbath in the synagogue during the week also. And we are right now in the book of Genesis and Bereshit. We are in the beginnings because only a few weeks ago we finished reading the Torah and immediately started reading it again. And in the first chapters of the Torah, it says that God created the world in 6 days. You know, many people who are scientists think that this is impossible. You couldn't create a universe in 6 days. As a matter of fact, one of our basic commentators says that God created the world in the very beginning, created everything, really, except that in each day of creation, as described in the Bible, he placed things in their place where they were supposed to be. But actually, everything was created right in the beginning. It's sort of an echo of the Big Bang theory. But scientists in general feel that the narrative in the Torah is allegorical. You cannot take it literally, really. As far as I am concerned, the Torah is not a book of astronomy. It is not a book of physics, astrophysics. The Torah is a book of norms, of ethical principles. So my problem, or basically my interest in these stories, is what can I learn from them? What do they teach me? You know, they teach me the following, for instance. It says in the beginning, God created light, and God saw that light was good. And every day of creation, it says, and God saw it was good. When God created the animals, it was good. When God created the birds, it was good. And the last day, God created man. But when he created man, it does not say, and God saw it was good. It only says at the end of that day of creation, which was the 6th day, God saw everything that he had done. Vehinei tov me'od. It's very good. Everything was very good. But when it came to the creation of man, it doesn't say that it was good. Why not? Well, we know many people that are simply not good, so maybe that is why. You know, I read an interesting interpretation of one of the rabbis. He said the following, you know, an animal was created complete. You know, an animal is what the animal is. Is the dog of today different from the dog of 100 years ago? Does the dog of today know more? Can he use an iPhone that the dog of 100 years ago couldn't do? Can he say more words? Can he bark differently? What does a monkey do? The monkey of today and the monkey of 100 years ago. As far as we know, the chickens of today and the chickens of 100 years ago are the same. A chicken was created complete. That's what a chicken is, and that's it. You know, there's a very famous experiment, Pavlov, who rang a bell before he gave food to a dog, and the dog salivated when he saw the food. Eventually, he just rang the bell without food, and the dog started salivating. You know, you can train a dog to do certain things, but basically, the dog of today is the same as the dog of 100 years ago. Can you say the same thing about man? Are we the same today that we were 100 years ago? Look about you. Look around you. Take a look at the cities we have built. Take a look at airports. Take a look at telephones. Take a look at the internet. Take a look at photography. Take a look at the media. We have certainly changed the world. As a matter of fact, I remember reading that in the 20th century, there were more changes done, accomplished, than in all the centuries before. And we are in the 21st century. Who knows what the limits of our technology are going to be? We are not a finished product. Why aren't we a finished product? Because God gave us the ability to choose. You can do good, you can do bad. You can be a builder, you can be a destroyer. It depends upon what you do. You are not a finished product. So God said, you know, here is man. That's the way he is. Let us see what he's going to do. As a matter of fact, the Bible says that before God created man, he says, let us make man. To whom was God speaking? Jewish tradition says that God was speaking to the angels that have already been created, thereby teaching us that when you're going to do something, why don't you take counsel with others also? But this rabbi says something different, and I liked what he said. You know what he said? Let us make man. He was speaking to each man. You know, you and I are both responsible for you. I created you, but I created you with certain abilities. Now we'll see what you are going to do. So actually, man is a being in process of being created constantly. It depends upon what you do. Look at what society has done, as I said. But think about yourself. Look at what you have. You have enormous potential. You have enormous energy. You can become much more than what you are. God created you, but He gave you possibilities to do it. Are you going to throw away those possibilities? Are you going to spend your time on ridiculous things? Or are you going to try to learn more, to do more good in this world, to try to perfect this being that you are, thanks to the creation of God? Remember, you are a partner with God in your own creation. So don't say to yourself, you know, too bad, look at what God did with me. No, a lot depends upon you. And if you're going to do the right things, you're going to be a much better human being. You're going to be much more satisfied. You're going to have a much fuller life.